Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is feeling well where they are. We're about to welcome Brenda Powers to our community today, and she is going to give us a lovely demonstration and chat about just the basics in nutrition. We call this Nutrition 101, understanding the staples of some of the, no pun intended, meat and potatoes in nutrition. So we're just going to give Brenda a few moments to chime in. Hopefully she'll be here soon. We're working on some technical connections right now via our lovely, awesome internet. So it's requiring us to be a little patient. Oh, there she is. Let me get her going.
I'm sorry. Hi.
Hi, Brenda. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your patience with some of our technical learning opportunities. How about we call it that?
I'm down with you. All good.
Okay. How are you today, Brenda? How's everything going?
I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. A little scared with that little techie glitch, but I'm grateful that we found our way together and now we can share some really important information about.
Oh, now she's gone. Okay, so I'm going to wait a few more minutes for anybody else to sign in and sign up. And then if you guys have comments on what I'm talking about, go ahead and leave in the live chat. There's comments you can place there so I can answer the questions you're asking. And then we can talk all things nutrition. So let's give it a few more minutes. I think Joanna, she was chatting it up with some of you guys. And so now she has kind of that, that wheel on her internet that's like not working. So it's all good. We're gonna roll with the flow, keep that positive energy. So let's do this. Let's give Joanna like 30 more seconds. She gave me like 5 minutes, I know, but so I want to talk about what I like to eat, especially during right now. So food is fuel, especially right now when we're kind of like, I would say we're more or so, we're kind of locked in, right? Being quarantined. We can't really get all the steps in that we need in a day. We're not working right now. Like for me, when I'm working, I'm moving all day long. I start at sometimes 4 a.m. and I'm not done till 9 p.m. So all those steps I'm normally taking during the day, those are gone because I'm home. So the first thing I can always recommend as a certified nutritionist is to move your body first things first, because that's going to get your system moving. So I should probably back up a little bit and talk about me. My name's Brenda. Bren is what most people call me, and I'm a certified nutritionist. I've been doing nutritional coaching for several years now. I'm a certified personal trainer, and my other hat that I wear a few other ones too. I'm a dental hygienist. I'm a holistic dental hygienist. And so I found that my patients were needing education on nutrition for their inflammation in their body and straight up just health. So I decided to get my certification in nutrition to help my patients just be their best selves and feel their best and get rid of that inflammation. And it's been such a game changer for my profession. And I hope to just kind of spread the love in that regard. So what do we do when we coach nutrition? Well, I kind of peel you back like an onion, like little layer after layer after layer. So a lot of nutritionists, we're all kind of different in that regard, but I feel like when I'm coaching somebody, I want to know their struggles. I want to know what they're eating every day. I want to know their past history and what support they have or don't have at home. What your willpower is, So when it comes to coaching nutrition, I typically send a questionnaire out that's many pages long just to get to know you better. Well, there you are.
I'm back. Sorry, a little glitch, but I'm back.
Okay, cool. So I was just kind of explaining who I am, what I'm about, kind of thing. So I can start that over if you want, or I can just kind of.
No, you please go. You please go.
Okay.
I'm grateful to know who you are.
Okay. So that being said, when a nutritionist gets to know you, your habits, your lack of habits, your goals, we can provide the right tools for you for your tool belt. So today I'm just going to simply talk about Nutrition 101. This is basic, but it's very important fundamentals for nutrition. So I want to start off with, what is a protein? Okay, protein is the building block of the cell. So proteins come in the form of mainly animal protein, your meats. Okay, we can talk about vegetarian, vegan if you want to too. I'll kind of hit on those. But when you think of protein, you want to think of a lean protein. So lean meats, chicken breast, fish, seafood, like scallops, shrimp, those things. I stay away from beef. It's pretty inflammatory, in my opinion, unless you're getting like the grass-fed organic. That's okay to eat, but not every day. And then a lean ground turkey and eggs. So if your proteins, by the way, keep you fuller longer, your body has to work extremely hard to break down a protein. So it will satisfy you longer. That's why nutritionists will put in protein and then they'll stack on a carbohydrate, which we'll talk about, and then fat as well, to help satiate you through your eating times. So a protein is like the first step in anybody's nutrition plan. I like to look at to see what are we missing, how can we implement that more. Now, when you're vegetarian and when you're vegan, that's a whole nother challenge. Pescatarian is easy breezy. We'll just put you lots of that way. But when you're vegetarian or vegan, be very mindful, because what happens is like legumes have protein, about, let's say about 15 grams of protein per half cup of legumes. But then you also have 30 grams of carbohydrates. So it gets to be a numbers game, and so you don't want to eat this big plate of legumes to get all this protein, and then the carbs are going to sit there. So carbohydrates, what are carbohydrates? So protein, building block for cells, aka building block for muscles. Carbohydrates, what are they? Energy. So perfect example of when I like to use my carbohydrates for fuel. I'll eat a banana with I'll have a handful of almonds and I'll go do a workout. If I just am feeling a little lethargic, I'll have some fruit or something, because that quick rush, that fructose, even though it's healthy, will give me that burst I need. So think carbohydrate, energy. What in my cabinet? Everything's pretty much carbohydrates, right? So fruit. So you have different types of carbohydrates. So fruits are your sugars, okay? So you don't want to have too many sugars. So maybe your portions for the day would be a couple pieces of fruit in the daytime. I wouldn't suggest eating fruit all at every meal, and we can go into that in a little bit if you'd like. But suffice it to say, I'll set up a meal plan for you at the very end. You guys can kind of see where my mind's going with all this. So carbohydrates of fruit. It's also a starch. So, and then there's another starch on top of that, and then a fibrous carbohydrate. So we have simple carbohydrates as sugars and fruits, okay? I know that doesn't sound fair that they're in the same category, but they are, in my opinion, because they're fast acting in the system and they give you energy fast, and you can crash pretty fast from simple sugars, okay? So think of white sugar, think of a cookie, think of candy, think of all the sweets, simple sugar, and fruit, okay? Fructose, sucrose, even dairy has sugar in it, so even lactose, yes? Okay, so moving on. Another carbohydrate is your fibrous carbohydrates, which are your vegetables. So fiber is really important for your digestive system, and vegetables, as you all know, are what we should be eating with every meal, and you get all your micronutrients from your vegetables. So And minerals. So when I say micronutrient, that's your minerals. So if you're not getting vegetables in your diet, you're not getting the minerals that you need to absorb the vitamins that you're eating. See how there's a domino effect? So you want to be getting vegetables pretty much at every setting of your big main meals every day, if not more. Oftentimes, vegetables can be an endless amount depending on your goals. Your plate can be 90% vegetables, and then you add in some protein and some carbs, maybe 75%. But if you like a big salad, that's fine. Lettuce doesn't hurt you, right? So you want to also keep a variety of vegetables. So don't just think, I know a lot of us kind of get in that wheelhouse of like, oh, I'm just gonna throw a salad together. It's fine. Just lettuce and tomatoes, I'm good. Well, your digestive tract is not getting the variety it needs to be as complex as it deserves to be. So what you want to do is add some zucchini, maybe, squash, broccoli, cauliflower. All the dark greens too are so good for all the B's and the C's and the D's and A vitamins, as well as your micronutrients and your minerals. So when I'm thinking of a plan for a client, I'm encouraging them to not overthink it, because what happens is you buy so many vegetables and then you don't know what to do with them. So think, okay, for days 1 through 3, I'm going to have these few vegetables. Just pick a handful of veggies and just eat the same thing, eat the same veggies for the 3 days or so, and then go to the market and you're going to grab another several different types of veggies and have those. That way your gut biome always getting different vitamins and minerals and experiencing different types of fiber from the vegetables, so you can have success in that regard. So you have that complex microbiome in your digestive tract. So sugar, carbohydrate, vegetable carbohydrate, that's a good one because it's fiber. Okay, that one's going to fill you up. Okay, that one will make me bloated if I eat too much of it. So I'll talk about how you can help with that too. Another carbohydrate that we use for energy and for, just wellness overall, you do need carbohydrates, you guys, for your brain, right? And fats. So a lot of people get stuck. Like I got stuck, I think in the 90s it was, right? It was like low carb. And I just was like foggy, walking around foggy brain for a long time. And then I realized that was not smart. So that was a whole thing in the 90s. But you need carbs. Your carbs actually help you build muscle too. You need the carbohydrates to go into the muscle. That's a whole nother topic. So starchy carbs, potatoes, sweet potatoes, brown rice, white rice, quinoa, legumes really probably are classified there as well. Black beans. Black beans also have protein. What else? That would be a good little tip for vegan. So oatmeal, all those things. So think if you can kind of grow it in a field, that's like a starchy, more complex carb. If it's processed, it's a white sugar, so just avoid it. Processed foods, just really avoid. So those are your carbohydrates in a nutshell. And then I'm trying to think here. Okay, so we'll talk about portion sizes in a minute, and then fats. Let's talk about fats. So does anybody know where the fat is in an egg? I get asked this question all the time. That's why I'm asking it back. If you know, great.
I'm gonna say it's in the yolk, right?
It's in the yolk. You got it. So a lot of people don't realize that the egg, the outside white part is the protein, and then the yellow part inside is the yolk, is the fat. And that's a really great part of the egg. You guys don't miss out on that. So when you eat an egg, you want to have the egg plus the yolk. Say you're like, I don't like the yolk. I get you. You can hack that out, and you can just do egg whites and then have like a tablespoon of almond butter, which is another fat, in place of it. So fats, you're going to think nuts. You're going to think the egg yolk. Lean proteins don't have a lot of fat in them, so I'm not really worried about getting fats from your protein. Avocado is a fat. Even though it's a fruit, it's fat. A great fat to have. Avocado oil you can cook with, extra virgin olive oil you can cook with, coconut oil you can cook with. But here's the tricky part, you guys. The spray cooking oils don't count as a fat portion for your food intake for the day. So you want to make sure that if you're cooking with those things that you're adding a fat to your meal. So let's say I want to have like some vegetables, a big wok, a big stir fry of veggies. If I use that cooking spray so my pan doesn't sear, or if I need to like measure out my specific oil and I'm cooking for my family, I'll spray the pan and I'll wok all the veggies and I'll portion my size out, and then I'll drizzle a tablespoon, which is about like a thumb size amount. Where's my camera? Here it is. A thumb size amount of fat for my portion with my meal. So I'll have like the oil, my veggies, and then a lean protein for dinner. So let's talk about meal timing for a little bit as well. So protein, carb, fat is what you always want to think when you're putting a meal together. So one thing that gets me kind of like, I wish they wouldn't have started making it because it's so good, but it just kind of jams people up, is avocado toast. What is missing from avocado toast? Does anybody know? So you've got your avocado, your fat. You've got your toast, your wheat, hopefully. Toast for a complex carbohydrate. You're missing your protein. You're missing your protein, so your meal is not balanced. Your body's going to digest that completely different than if it were to digest the protein. So
yeah, I love to add sprouts on my avocado toast, or hemp seeds even.
Yeah.
It's a great way to sneak in some really healthy plant-based protein.
So,
yeah. Sprouts and hemp seeds, they're my favorite little secret weapon.
Yeah, that's so good. Hemp seeds, and then flax seeds are a great option too. You know, a lot of my vegan clients will just intermix some vegan protein shakes, because we also are trying to, you know, cut some inches down, and we've got to keep the carb content balanced as well. So you can look for a leaner protein shake with not a lot of carbohydrates rather in it. But a mid protein intake would be about 20 to 30 grams of protein for a protein shake. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's kind of food in a nutshell. Really, water intake is huge too. So
what would be the simplest way to share with people how much water to drink for themselves, not the general population, but what is a great way or gauge that a person can know that they're drinking enough water each day?
So, two things. Cut your body weight in food, and then drink that many ounces. Okay, that's one. The second thing is invest in a big hydro flask. Or if you're not good with that, I don't love drinking out of plastic, but I know plenty of people who would rather have like a gallon of water that they refill every day to last them too. That way you know that is your portion you have to drink at every day. With you. Though, and like for me, I am guilty of really not loving water. Isn't that crazy? Is with all the workouts I do and energy.
As I say this, I'm going to drink water.
So a hack I have actually is I'll put a drop or two of like lemon essential oil or peppermint I love in there, or even ginger.
Wow, great idea.
Yeah, and flavor the water, and then you're getting just the benefits of everything, the benefits of the water, the oils, or you can even use fresh squeezed lemon in your water. I tend to not like all the pulp in there, so that's why I use my oils instead. But just flavor your water in a natural sense, not with a Not with like, a powder or anything, that's like not what you want to do, but if
Hmm.
you're adding a little flavoring, even like fresh peppermint or something like that you enjoy would be
Hmm.
super beneficial to make sure you're getting that water in. That water is going to hydrate your cells. It's going to keep you fuller, make you feel better. It's going to help your body kind of push through all that fiber you're eating. So,
Oh, that's a great thing. Tell us more about that. Water pushes through what we're eating, right? And that's something that people don't really think about because there's so many people that can go all day long without drinking water and then, have this dis-ease within their body and feel tight or feel the brain fog or feel the bloating or, different kinds of digestive issues. And just like what you said, by drinking water, it gives a flush to our system and a way to transport those nutrients to where they need to go and then out when we're done using them, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So the body's really intelligent and really complicated all at the same time. So you drink the water, you're eating your cleaner foods, but if you're not drinking enough, like say for somebody that has a hard time digesting the protein, even the proteins, for sure the fiber sludgies, you're going to start bloating up. So the water will help with that. But as we age, interestingly enough, and as if we've had to take antibiotics or in the past, or we've all eaten processed foods like in our lifetime, whether you're a minimalist with it or you're on like a processed eating, if you grew up kind of eating more processed foods because our parents didn't really know any better anyways at the time, your gut's kind of jammed up. So I believe that even like for myself, like when I coach somebody or encouraging like nutrition, the basics is let's start with your digestive system. How is it functioning? How is it working? Are you taking a probiotic? Are you taking a prebiotic? Are you feeling symptoms when you're eating foods? And what are those symptoms? What could they be? Like for me, I have like I was sharing with you guys before, I used to have a hard time digesting fiber. So I did some research and through all these things I've been learning as a nutritionist, I lack digestive enzymes in my system. Most of us as we age, our digestive enzymes decrease. So the pancreas releases these digestive enzymes once you put food in your body, then it signals the enzymes to come, right? But if I'm not eating a variety of vegetables, fruits, foods, and things, my gut's not going to know to release those. Second, if my pancreas isn't working at full capacity, I might have some liver congestion, those things aren't going to work either. And then, so I need to give my body those things. So I take actually digestive enzymes right before I eat my main meals, my breakfast, lunch, and then my dinner. So that way my body's breaking down the plant protein, the plant fiber, the animal protein, any fats, and then any other carbohydrates I'm having. So that way when the body's digesting things properly and has those enzymes, guess what happens? I'm not bloated, but I'm getting all the nutrients that my body deserves. So there's a few little tricks that we can use when symptoms do arise.
I think one of the most important lesson that I've learned through my journey in nutrition is really understanding what you feel like. A lot of us are, or I should say, have been raised to eat certain foods, so it's our go-to. And like the other patterns in our life, the other abusive patterns in our life, sometimes our nutrition can be abusing our bodies too. And we don't even realize it because we're just so used to feeling a certain way. And so I always love listening to what people are eating, how they're eating, what their culture and lifestyle is feeding them. Because sometimes they think they're eating healthy. We think we're eating healthy and we can't figure out why. But the most important thing is what is healthy on a general sense might not be healthy for you or me. right? Because like you said, you don't feel well, you don't digest, fibers real well. Well, I might, he might, or she might not. So the biggest navigation is really understanding how you feel, and I love that, you share different tips on different things you can do, and really understanding that there's a variety of food for great reason. It's so that if one doesn't work for you, try something else.
Yeah.
And if you're not feeling well, maybe eliminate things, slowly bring them back to find out what is triggering that not so good feeling.
And there's too, like my kind of go-to, is that my feedback? Let's see. Oh, my kind of go-to fats that are easy to digest would be like cashews that are unsalted or almonds that are unsalted. I stay away from peanuts, even if they're organic peanuts. Peanuts in your digestive tract just do not go well. By the way, corn, your body doesn't digest it. Don't even bother. It literally comes out the other side whole.
And I love chip. I am if I could be anything, I would be chips and salsa, and
Right.
maybe a little bit of guacamole. And I always try to convince myself, no, this is healthy. This is gluten free. This is, and I love it's avocado and salsa is, but I always leave that whole conversation afterwards, and my tummy is so bloated. I pick and choose my battles, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's I also feel like if you don't have like an event you're going to, or you're doing some sort of fitnessy competition type situation, I like to follow the 80-20 rule with my clients, because we need to honor ourselves and give each other grace. And like you said, like if I could be chips and salsa, I would too, girl. That's like my favorite. So when I'm out with my family at a restaurant and I'm not preparing myself for anything serious, like a photo shoot or anything like that, then I'm going to have some chips and salsa. And then I just know that like I better have my digestive enzymes in my bag, and they better be at that meal or I'm in trouble. But, and we have to live life too, right? So finding, like for me, I have a sensitivity to dairy. So I'm going to get like, if I want a sweet treat, I'm going to find something that's like lactose free, and it's going to be like it's going to be more like a frozen yogurt of some sort, or like a Greek yogurt with berries on top with some honey on top, kind of things like that. So you can really satisfy that sweet tooth with some creativity without going overboard and going to like the drive-through and getting some sort of custard situation. So,
my new favorite thing, and I really resonate with what you were talking about, healthy fats, and I love having either a dried fruit or a fresh fruit with some nuts. And a variety of different nuts, because they all offer us so many different kinds of nutrients. So just like we were talking about earlier, to rotate in different vegetables and different proteins, to rotate in different nuts that, give us so many awesome nutrients, and pair them with fruit. And I always like to throw in some dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Really, really does me some good and elevates my mood and loads me up with some antioxidants that, make me feel good. And it's a great snack, and no harm, no fall. I believe in the 80-20 as well. And, eating mostly clean and healthy and organic and, fresh, and then, have fun. Because your body needs to be immune to things. And the only way it can be is if you're giving them a variety of things. So, yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
So I want to talk really quick about portion sizes. Portion sizes are going to be key to your success with anything. When you're at a restaurant, when you're at home, when you're at a friend's house, which you'll be at hopefully soon, again, family member's home. So this is my thing. Use your hand as your guide. So let's talk about your fat size. So you're not going to love me for this one because I love guacamole too, but your portion size for guacamole is going to be pretty small. It's going to be, close your ears now if you don't want to know the truth. So your fat portion, I'm not saying you can only have like a dollop of guacamole, but just know that when I'm really trying to laser target how much fat you should get in a meal, it's about, if you're female, it's 1/4 of an avocado per meal. Okay, so your guacamole is going to look, like, yeah, basically 2 large scoops on a chip, and then you're done. Oh, here is the hack though. I use sliced cucumbers in place of my chips with my guacamole. Yep.
That's a great tip. You might have just saved me. I'm not sure I'm going to stick to that 1/4 of a guacamole serving.
Yeah,
I'll definitely replace my chips with it.
Right. It's a slippery slope, but and honestly, you guys, like, their avocados are really healthy, so I would much rather you overeat, in my opinion, homemade guacamole as opposed to overeating. Like, I think nuts are a slippery slope, so I'd rather see you overeat like guacamole, just digest differently, than like 6 handfuls of cashews because you can't stop. I mean, literally, you might have to put the lid on it and like measure. I've known some gals who they like draw lines on their nuts because, listen, the struggle's real when it comes to any type of nut situation. For some females, nuts are like chocolate and cheese. So I can go down that rabbit hole too. It's a whole thing. So use vegetables in place of chips and stuff. Like, so salsa, another tip I have, use cucumbers with salsa. That's like, you could have a whole giant cucumber. I think 1 cucumber is maybe 10 carbohydrates, if that. Probably less, actually. So that's another hack. As you can see, I use cucumbers for a lot of snacking because they're crunchy and they kind of give you that good feeling. What else? Okay, so what I think would be really fun, let's go over some portion sizes. So your palm is a size for protein. Where's my mirror or my camera? So your palm, protein, okay? Or here to here, basically, okay? Depending on how big your hand is. But basically, you're going to use your hand as your guide. So protein size, it's about 6 ounces. Hold on just a second. Audrey, I am on a conference. You need to, yeah, thank you. Teacher singing happy birthday, how cute. Anyways, okay, so protein size, soft cup handful is 1/2 cup, okay, if you want to measure it out. Carbohydrates. So just flip it over, stick how do I do this? Let's do this. Stick the rice or the sweet potato in your hair, and then that's it. So what I like to do, if you have a measuring cup, just measure 1/2 cup of rice or 1/2 cup of sweet potato or whatever your carbohydrate is for the day, for that meal per se, and then you'll see what that looks like. Once you visualize it and you keep measuring and eating the same, say you have sweet potato 3 days in a row, you're going to see what that portion is, so you can kind of let up a little bit on the firm measurement. But when you go out to eat, you're training your brain to say, that sweet potato that's this big, I'm only going to eat this much of it and take the rest home. So a lot of it is visualization. So that's why I like your hand with you. So just if you are at a restaurant or a friend's house and you're like, oh, like the sweet potatoes to here, and this is all I'm going to get, then you just slide the rest to the side. Baked potatoes are fine to eat too, you guys. There's nothing wrong with a baked potato. You just can't load it with all the things. Like, no butter. Sorry. No sour cream.
How do you feel about coconut oil?
I love coconut oil. It's a great oil. I'm not really overly inspired by a keto diet. However, it works for a lot of people, and I do like it for when I am coaching those that have epilepsy and some other health conditions, is why it was created. So there's a whole nother segment conversation in that regards. But I love like the MCT coffee stuff. That doesn't really resonate with me, but other people swear by it. So try it if you want. But yes, I love cooking with coconut oil. It's got a better, doesn't release free radicals when it gets too hot like extra virgin olive oil can. So it's a better oil to use if you're cooking with something super hot. You can drizzle it on your veggies and put it in the oven. It's super yummy that way too. So I love that fat for sure, 100%. So when you're measuring oils, you're going to use a tablespoon. That is your serving, but it's approximately like this big. So let me see. Yeah, there. So when you're out and about. So for me, if I'm going to a restaurant, I just ask them to hold the oil or just easy oil if they have to cook something in oil. It's just another hack. So you can kind of control as much as you can what people are putting on your foods. And then veggies. For some clients, veggies are endless because we're working on different things. And for other clients, veggies are not endless. It's like 2 big handfuls to 3 big handfuls, depending on how you're feeling, how you're digesting. So those will fill you up nicely.
Fantastic. So here's my question. When someone is asking, I get this question all the time. What is a great thing to eat for a pre-workout, and what is a great thing to eat for a post-workout?
That's a great question. So first of all, what kind of workout, right? Okay. Second of all, how close are you to your next meal? If you're just starting out on the exercise train and your body's not conditioned to exercise, you need to eat something because your body, your body is going to be in shock in general with like the running or the rowing or the lifting weights or the cardio or the whatever you're doing. So you don't want to give it even more of a reason to be stressed out and strained and increase that cortisol. So well, I'm going to keep, oh, there we go. I'm like, I'm going to keep talking. My little wheel came on. Okay. So like I was saying, if you're new to working out, just eat your regular meal. Which would be like an individual cup of oatmeal, like the little individual packs that you get at the store, plain. And then you would just put a tablespoon of almond butter in there, maybe like 1/4 of a cup of berries. So you have some carbs, you have some fat, and you have some protein with those nuts. You can even throw a couple egg whites on the side if it moves you. That would be your breakfast. It'll keep you satiated, and you'll use those carbohydrates for energy during your workout. So that would be a great idea to do regardless. So newer to exercise, make sure you're eating and having a snack before you exercise. A great snack would be like a half a banana with a tablespoon of almond butter or a handful of nuts. And to get you through that workout, that banana is going to be that quick acting sugar like we talked about before, carbohydrate wise. And then the almonds or cashews will kind of slow down your body from digesting the carbohydrates too fast. So you can use that food for fuel. Post-workout, if you're new to working out, I'm not really worried about what you're eating after working out. Let's be real. Like, I just want you to have a healthy meal, your next meal or your next snack if you're newer to working out, because your body's like already going to be in shock and doing its thing, and you've already eaten a snack prior, which is more important for me for your blood sugar level. So if you are a fitness junkie and you're trying to take your food to the next level, or you fell off track, but your body is still conditioned for exercising and you want some ideas, I still feel like breakfast is really important. And about 30 minutes prior, 30 minutes prior to your exercise, you're going to want to have a snack. I do feel like a quick acting carb like before. The food doesn't change, you guys. So I wouldn't go in before my workout and have like a 6-ounce piece of chicken and vegetables. That would be no bueno for my workout. Okay. I'd like rather have some pre-workout energy drink of some sort, or an antioxidant drink just for some boosting with some electrolytes, and maybe like even an apple with some nuts or something, an apple with some string cheese. So I at least have my balance there, and some quick acting sugar to get the glucose, which is a carbohydrate, into my muscle to build. I want that. They call it a pump. So it's a whole fitnessy thing. Post-workout, a protein shake is great when you're lifting weights. If you're just going to be a cardio bunny and do an hour spin class, you don't need a protein shake. It's not going to do you any good. Okay, so the protein is for post-workout recovery when you're lifting weights. So strength training, even like some heavier cross training intervals, things like maybe if you go to Orange Theory Fitness or you go to a CrossFit gym, if they're taking you through high interval training, but you're still lifting weights, then that would be an opportunity for a post-workout protein shake. Protein shakes typically have some form of carbohydrate in them. I like to keep mine under 15 grams, but that's me personally. Let's say you are trying to put on some muscle and put on some weight, then you need to add with your protein shake said banana or said apple, something like that, to add a bit more caloric intake to your protein shake and a little bit more glucose for after workout fuel. And then move on through your day with your meals as planned. So let's see what else. Let me do this. Let me structure your day for foods. So what I like to do when I coach someone is I take the dairy out. I take why dairy is inflammatory. Okay. We are the only, just so you guys are aware, I'm sure you've heard this, but if not, it's a little enlightening, but a little kind of like, oh no, she just said that, didn't she? We're the only species that drink milk after we're babies. So I know that. Just think about that, and that we really don't need milk, right? So it's for babies. Anyways, or dairy products in general. So they're inflammatory and they're super high in calories. So when I need to get your inflammation down and having you feel your best, I need to take that dairy out. I also want to take out the simple sugars except for fruits. So those go out the door. And then I also typically will take your carbohydrate out at your dinner time, unless you work out at nighttime, because I want your body to just be able to use the carbohydrates you've eaten during the daytime and not store them up overnight. I also talk about sleep recovery as well with nutrition, because that's really, really important. You guys, sleep and water are king for recovery and for wellness in general. And if you're not getting the adequate sleep and the adequate water intake, you're just not giving your body what it deserves either. And speaking of drinks, let's talk about sodas. That's sugar too. Juice drinks, juices are sugars. Your favorite juice at Nectar is sugar, y'all. It's too much. It's too much. Too much sugar, even though it's fruit. Like, think of how many pieces of fruit they put into your Nectar drink. I love Nectar, but even the green drinks, I typically will have them omit the apple because I don't need that much sugar. Let's see what else. So we take out the sodas, we take out the juices, the lemonades, the artificial flavorings. If you really want to get in deep dive into like treating your body for it's like what it's intended for, like all things wellness, just take out those things. So dairy's out the door, sodas, sugars, coffee. If you're acidic and you're talking about stomach pains and digestive issues, then we'll kind of tailor back your coffee intake, just because the coffee is acidic to the system. And a lot of times my clients that drink coffee drink more creamer than coffee. Might sound familiar. Starbucks is out the window. What else? All those things. So you just really have to be committed to yourself. This is not forever, but this is just for you to get to be feeling your best self. It typically takes about a week, 7 to 10 days, let's say. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I have more energy. My body's feeling better. I have that client conversation about day 7 to day 10 on my digestion's better. I'm not waking up tired anymore. I'm sleeping better, because what we've done is we might not have felt good like day 3 or day 4 because we're taking the sugar and all the things out of the system. But then we go back in and your body gets a new homeostasis, like base level, where it's being fed the right things. And it's like, wow, I'm getting all the nutrients. I feel so good. So what we want to do is also make sure that our meals are balanced. So an example of a balanced snack, let's say, would be an apple. I think I've said this a zillion times, but an apple with a handful of almonds or cashews, probably like 10 to 15 if you're female. And then I love rice cakes, you guys. A rice cake is so great. One rice cake with a tablespoon of almond butter on it is so satisfying. It tastes sweet. It's so good. That's a great snack to offer yourself. And then, just don't skip on the carbs, because carbs are really important. So is fat. You need to eat fat for your body to burn fat. That is, but not overdo it, right? So just really pay attention to those measurements that I gave you at the beginning or middle of this chat. Oh, there she is.
Thank you, Brenda. You know what? I just realized that I could press a button and give you the whole screen. So I was utilizing my learned skill set there and getting out of your way so that you could share your brilliance. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your passion for nutrition and health and wellness. I learned a few tips, to say the least, and I know everyone else will too. Really, really appreciate you donating your time and your passion to I Am Lev. We are here to create a community of health and wellness, and having you as one of our shining stars really makes all the difference. So thank you so much, Brenda, for creating your time and space to be with us today.
Of course. Thank you so much. If you have any more questions, they can find me on Instagram at Brenda Powered Fit. And I'm more than happy to kind of walk you through some steps outside of this class, but I hope it was informative for you guys. There's so much with nutrition that it's hard for me just to be quiet. So I need to, but it is something I'm passionate about. That's right, Joanna. I love talking to people about food and wellness and all things. So I appreciate you having me on today so much. And thank you for this virtual retreat and this revolution for everyone here during this time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And just hearing that and seeing that reflection come back to me gives me just chills. So thank you so much again for being part of this revolution with all of us. I hope you have a beautiful and peaceful day. I know we will here. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Have a great day, Brenda. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.